The Kandahar Campaign, the Calgary Highlanders Trilogy, Part 3, written and narrated by Jack White. We're engaged nowadays in a kind of war that's different by far to anything we've known before. Outrageous and bizarre. We're deep in the zone of Afghanistan that men call Kandahar, and there's not a soul among us who'll walk out without a scar. A different kind of war, I said. A different kind of fight. No battle-ready army corps manoeuvring in plain sight. No massed artillery barrages to turn the dark to light. Just life in the zone, at full alert, and pressure day and night. You'll see no regimental colours here being trooped in grand parade. You'll see no masked musicians wearing glittering gold and braid. But you will see lots of soldiers of all types and ranks and grades. The modern military face of Canada in all its grace. And you'll be proud to stand in place and sing O Canada in Kandahar. In earlier times, soldiers going to war knew at least who and what they were there fighting for. And they fought for clear reasons. They wanted to show that when duty demanded, they'd up and they'd go. In defending this country, they all understood that whatever they did, they were doing for our good. They believed in the things that they fought to preserve, and the values and standards Canadians observe. With that basic belief in their cause and God's laws, they all did what was asked of them simply because they were Canada's soldiers. Their faith in the rightness of what they were doing was a bright burning light. They had faith in the leaders and faith in their God, and faith in the good name they'd all earned abroad. Even-tempered Canucks with their hearts on their sleeves. They spread global goodwill like wind-blown maple leaves. But they all knew their enemies too in their day. And the rules that define such things differ today. They all knew their enemy, knew him by sight. They could see him by day and attack him by night. They could all see quite clearly what had to be done to defeat Nazi fascism or stamp out the Hun. Their foes had a face and clear, visible faults that cried out to be challenged with head-on assaults. That's all changed nowadays. Young men still march away and are placed, all too frequently, square in harm's way. But what's different today, something really brand new, is that women march with them and fight with them too. Ours are Calgary Highlanders, Calgary trained, their traditions indelible, deeply ingrained. Defiant, together, they serve side by side, and they get the job done with distinction and pride. They're all young. But when were Frontline Troops ever old? They're well trained, they've got guts, and they do what they're told. They form their own memories, make their own friends as they train and campaign and accept what war sends. And their voice is unique, carved right out of today in the words that they use and the things that they say. Yet, for all that uniqueness, when they tally the score, they sound just like the guys who went out there before. Boots on the ground. In the summer, the insurgents make a weapon of the sun. They escalate the fighting, then they keep us on the run. And though we hardly ever see them, God, their work is never done. Burying bombs, then sitting, waiting, watching us and calculating how to counter our resistance, snare us at our own insistence, and then kill us from a distance for being here in Kandahar. You can feel the buggers watching you no matter where you go, taking note of every move you make, of everything you show. When you enter camp or leave it, whether moving fast or slow, you can feel them watching, waiting, calculating and debating how they'll corner you and bait you, infiltrate and decimate you, kill your friends and then castrate you for being here in Kandahar. Then the sweat salt cakes your clothing, though the day has just begun, and the heat hits 56 degrees of broiling, brutal sun, and the water in your camel pack damn near boils as you run, and the dead weight of your kit saps every lingering little bit of the strength that made you feel so proud, the pride that made you boast aloud, and it's tough to keep your head unbowed, stuck here in Kandahar. So you gulp fresh water down your throat incessantly, but yet just as quickly as you suck it in, it pours back out in sweat, till your tack vest and your clothes are soaked and clammy, clinging wet, and the dust that hovers everywhere turns into mud and coats you there to encase you and then bake you in another skin and make you wonder why these people hate you just for being in Kandahar. 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 You'll never get clever in Kandahar. But where the hell did we go wrong? What happened to Glen Warple's song? Who sent us all the way out here to sleep and live in constant fear of ending up as a blackened smear in the burnt-out hulk of a ruined lab's bulk? That was all you could see of some IED on a track near Kandahar. Ever since the world began, this place they called Afghanistan has been the bane of every man who ever sought to take it. Great Alexander came to grief among its mountain chains and reefs, thinking to make of it a fief of Macedonia. Imperial Britain, too, had plans to tame the fierce Afghani clans and make their own use of these lands they lusted for. And Russian armies looked like fools attempting to impose their rules with gunships against men on mules who shot them down. And now we're here, Canadians, arrayed against the Taliban, prepared to fight them man to man if ever they get found. But tell the truth, they're hard to find. For we're blind here among the blind, and their fierce hatred of our kind, strangers and Christians, makes nonsense of our need to know that we can change them all, then go, leaving the rule of law to grow strongly behind us. For as long as the sullen mountains dominate this brooding land, shaping the hostile natives clan by clan, as long as drugs are in demand and the opium poppy crop expands, Afghanistan will nourish Taliban. Kandahar. Kandahar. You'll never get clever in Kandahar, but where the hell did we go wrong? What happened to Glen Warple's song? Who sent us all the way out here to sleep and live in constant fear of ending up as a blackened smear in the burnt-out hulk of a ruined lab's bulk that was all you could see of some IED on a track near Kandahar? You'll see no regimental colours trooping here in Grand Parade. No masked, brilliant musicians wearing glittering gold and braid. But you will see lots of soldiers of all types and ranks and grades. The modern military face of Canada in all its grace. And you'll be proud to stand in place and sing, O Canada, in Kandahar.